In this tutorial, we're going to show you the inside of the webinar room. So once you've logged into your webinar account, here's the room link. I usually right-click and say open in a new tab, and that's what this will do. It'll load up the application, and then it's going to ask you how you would like to join, using your microphone or listen only. Of course, as the room owner and presenter, you're going to choose microphone. And when you click on this, it's going to detect your microphone. It's going to do an echo test, and then you would click yes if you hear yourself. I'm going to click yes, and then it's going to show you you are listed here. Now, if you want, you can always mute yourself by clicking the button down here, and you'll notice that over here it muted me. I can uncheck that again. For folks who log in, sometimes people can log in listen mode, or they might log in with their microphone and they might want to change that. So right here, there's a leave audio button. If you click on that, what it's going to do, you notice here now it's a circle. I have no microphone. It's processing. And what I need to do is make a choice. So I would click this again. And if I want to come in listen only mode, I would do that. And then you'll see now it comes in with the headphones instead of a microphone. And of course, as the presenter, I'm going to change that. So I would leave the audio portion once again. I would click this and I would choose microphone. It would do the echo test. If I hear myself, I would click yes. And then I'm going to mute myself right here once again. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the room features. This blue area you look at is the staging area. We call that the staging area. You have the text chat over here, so as people type, then you're going to see it's going to come up here. You can move that. You can push that back here, and then you're left with more of the staging area. You can always see the visitors list, or you can actually just simply click this icon right here, and that will give you more of the staging area. But let's come back here for a moment. And let's take a look at a couple of things. I'm going to unmute my microphone again because I want to show you some controls that we have. Over here there are some controls. But before I do that, let's take a look at a couple of other things here. Let's look at these down here. I can share my webcam by clicking this button, and it will access my webcam. It'll find me, and it'll give me the option of selecting which camera I want to use if I have multiple cameras. It will allow also to set the quality of the webcam, and then you can start sharing. I'm just going to cancel this. I'm not going to share my webcam. I just wanted to show you where it is located. We can also share the screen. It's known as desktop sharing, screen sharing. You would click on this button here. Once you click on that, it's going to open up some options. By default, it gives you the option of choosing, sharing your entire screen. And so if that's what you want to do, you would simply click on this, and this button becomes available, and you can click that. Now, when you do that, it's going to share everything. So whatever you're looking at, if you open up a tab, open up your email, whatever you do, people are going to see that. So I don't always use that tab. You can use the application window. If you choose that, then what it means is any application that you have open and you just want to share that, then that's it. So if you choose application and you choose a particular window, then it doesn't matter what else you do. They will not see it. And the same thing with Chrome tab. If you hit Chrome tab, then you will be able to choose from any Chrome tabs that you have open, and that's all they will see. What you also need to know is when you use screen sharing, that you must leave the webinar room. So when you make a choice, it will automatically bring that up for you. And that's what you do. So whatever you're looking at, they're looking at. So if you go to a web page and you scroll that page, they will see that. You can experiment with that, but just remember that when you're using screen sharing, you're not doing it from inside your room. Your webinar becomes the window. It's like the television. So that's where it's viewed. You actually need to go outside the webinar room in order to manage that. So just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at this button right here. It's the Actions tab. And so by clicking here, I can start a poll. Now, polls are usually linked to a presentation. You can create a custom poll, and I'll show you that in a moment. So let's upload a presentation. So by clicking this button, then you're faced with this. Now, you can upload any Microsoft Office document. Any Office document that you have. What it does, it converts it to a PDF. So if it's a spreadsheet, if it's a PowerPoint, or if it's already a PDF, it will automatically convert those. So you would click here where you can drag your files and drop them, or you can browse. So you would click here. Then that would open your options. I've got one here ready. I'm just going to do that. And then it's going to list it here, and it's to be uploaded. It's checkmarked to be uploaded. If you made a mistake, you can hit delete. If you click this button, this is going to allow people in the webinar room to download the file. So if you have a file you want to share with folks and let them have it, could be a contract, could be a PDF, could be anything, then you would allow that by clicking here, and then they would be able to download that. I'm going to just click upload right here, and when I click on upload, now it has to upload, it converts the file, it processes, and of course depending on how many slides, that'll determine how long. It's a very fast process, but just keep in mind if you're uploading a PowerPoint and there are a lot of images in there, then it is going to take time to convert all of that. Once it's done, you'll see it displayed here. It will not process videos. If you have videos inside of your PowerPoint, it will not stop. It will break and it will end. Let me tell you how we get around that. If you have videos that you want to share during your presentation, it's very easy to do that. So as you advance your slides, I've got a slide here, but I also have a couple of blank slides. So you can click here and choose your slides, but I've got some blank slides. What you can do here, you can do many things. We've got full interactive whiteboard over here, so I can choose if I want to type on the board, then I can choose the font color as well. I'm going to go with black, and I can choose the size of the font, and then I could just simply put my box there, and I could type in there, and I could simply say hello, and then click outside the box, and there it is. I can also do other things, obviously, if you're familiar with whiteboard. There's a draw tool. So a draw tool becomes helpful if I just, let me go back here to this slide, and perhaps I want to draw your attention to something. So I can change the size, so I can change the size of the draw tool. I can also change the color of the draw tool. So if I want to draw your attention to something, I can draw a box around it like this, and I can also then remove that. Let's say I want to draw a box around a couple of things. So I do that, and then I want to draw one here, but I made a mistake. Oops, I made a mistake. So I can just clear the last drawing. Sorry, that was the last two. Let me just do that again. I could put a box around this one. If I do this one and I do this, and I made the mistake, then I could just simply undo, and that will undo my last one. And so then if I draw the box around there, now if I want to clear all of them, I simply click all annotations and it clears them all. This feature here allows you to turn on multi-user whiteboarding. So by turning that on, now you can see there's a name by my draw tool, by my pencil. And so if you want other people to participate on the drawing of your document or the writing of your document, you can let them do that. And then of course you can just simply disable that feature right there. Now I was saying if you want to import a, let's say a presentation, or I'm sorry, a video during the presentation during the webinar. If you have a video, your video needs to be on YouTube or Vimeo. And let me show you how you get there. You simply come down here, click on the Actions tab, and you're going to see there's an option here to share a YouTube video. So you click on that. Now it can be a Vimeo video as well. Now I've got a URL already saved in my notepad, so I'm just going to paste it in here. It has to be used in this format, okay? And then click Share New Video. Once you do that, it's going to bring the video in, and it's going to begin sharing that video. It's going to begin sharing for everyone in the room, so everyone will see that. You control it. So if you hit pause, then it's going to pause for everyone else. You control that. So you hit play once again, then it's going to play for everyone. And then when you're ready to come back to your presentation, just hit this again and say stop sharing YouTube video, and it will come back on the slide that you left when you went into bring in the video. So that's how we use video when you're using it with a PowerPoint. Now let's take a look at a couple of things that we have over here. When people have written in the text chat down here, okay, I'm just going to say hi again, something like that. People can save the text chat by clicking here. There are some chat options, so they can save it, they can copy it, or of course, if you're the room owner, you can actually clear the chat like I just did here. The public chat was cleared. Over here, we've got some options. For example, we've got shared notes. If we click on shared notes, this allows people to write on, so if you want to say anything, whatever you want to put in here, and if someone wants to save that, they can click these arrows and they can export it as an HTML, plain text, a Word document, a PDF, or an open document format. So they've got some options there as well. Some other things I want to show you right here. Well, let me just, yeah, I'll leave that closed. This one here, this one is an important button for you. Here we've got clear all status icons. Now what does that mean? Well, status icons, if I click on this, my name here obviously, I can set my status. So if I'm busy or something, or if I want to, if someone wants to ask a question, they can raise a hand, and you can see that it gets displayed right here inside the box. So as the room owner, you can actually come in here and you can clear all statuses and bring everybody's name back. What it does, it puts the first two letters of people's names inside that box. Clicking on this wheel again allows you to mute all users. Now, if you mute all users, it's going to mute yourself as well. So let me just show you that. If I click on that, now it's muted me as well. If I come back here and I unmute, actually, let me come up here and let me turn off the meeting mute because I muted everyone. And what this does, now it allows me then to unmute myself. So if I come in here again, I can mute all users except the presenter. And then if I do that, now you notice that I have not muted myself because I've muted everyone else, but there's no one else in here for you to see that. So then I can turn that off again. If I click on this wheel again, you can see that it gives me save the username. So if I want to save the list of people who attended my webinar, it saves it as a text file. If I want to lock the viewers, now there's several options in here that we can do. Locking the viewers, if I click on these buttons, it will it's a global action, which means it locks everyone. So if I want to disable everyone's webcam or the ability for people to see other viewers, I can do that. What this does, let me just tell you this. If I see other viewers' webcam, so if I lock that, then all the visitors in the room will still see me as the presenter if I'm sharing my webcam. But if other people are sharing their webcam to communicate with me, only I will see it. All the other viewers will not. So keep that in mind. Microphone locks everyone's microphone so no one can share their microphone, no one can talk. I can hide the public chat so no one can use it. I can disable private chat so no one can use it. And I can disable the private notes, or the shared notes, I'm sorry. Now, if I click on any of these, it becomes global, which means it affects everyone in the room. But then if I want to, from the list, I can allow people to have access to those features. So if I disable everyone's webcam, but I want one person to share their webcam, I can click on that. If I want one person to be able to speak, I can do that. So it gives you some sort of control. Let's take a look at breakout rooms. If I click on create breakout rooms, what this does, it allows you to create multiple rooms, right now up to 8. You can set the duration of the breakout rooms, that by default is 15, but you can decrease this number or increase this number. What it does then, it allows you to assign people to the breakout rooms. You can click here where it says allow users to choose a breakout room for them to join, or you can actually drag them from here and drop them into the different rooms. This list over here becomes the full list of people in the room, and then you can drop them into the additional rooms. You can allow them to choose, as I said, or you can randomly assign. So if you click here, the system will randomly choose people from the list and put them in the breakout rooms. Breakout rooms has many different, reasons why people would want to use them. So you give thought to that, how you can use the breakout rooms. And then at the end of the breakout rooms, when the clock has gone down to 0, everyone then comes back to the main webinar room. So it's a great way. Teachers use this, and they have students who need one-on-one help. So if they have teacher assistants, they can put teacher assistants in each of the breakout rooms, and then the students can be assigned to the different rooms depending on their need. And then when the time is finished, they can all come back to the main room. That's just one idea. Write closed caption. If I click on that, then you can choose the English or the language. So we've got multiple languages in here you can choose from. You would click Start, and then this would bring up the closed captioning here. Now what this does, If you have someone who is a great writer, a stenographer, as fast as you're speaking in your language, then they could be typing, and then this would come across on the bottom of the screen. You can see the closed caption would be here for people to start viewing. So they would click that, and then they would choose their color of language, a color of text that they would want, and the size of the text, and then they would click that, and they would start to see it. So only those people who choose that feature would be able to see that. Oh, excuse me. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at a couple of things over here. It's just the presentation. If you want to zoom areas on your presentation, you can click that, and you can, let me see, we use the hand tool here, and then you can drag your presentation. So if you want to zone in on something, you can do that. You can move it around. You can increase the size here, and of course you can then decrease the size as well. If you want to make the presentation full screen, you can do that, and then your presentation takes up the full screen, and you hit the X to bring that back. Up here, you've got 3 buttons, one over the other, and this one allows you to make full screen as well. There is a settings button here, and you can click on that, and you can see the different options in here. If you want to preserve your bandwidth, you can come in here and disable your webcams and desktop sharing feature. It's a cool feature. Close that. What I want to show you is the exit. There are a couple of things here. You can click the log out button, and when you log out, it will just log you out, and other people in the room can log out on their own. If you choose to end meeting, then what this does, it ends it for everyone and removes everyone from the webinar. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what happens. So if I click on End Meeting, now it asks me, am I sure I want to end this meeting? I'm going to say yes. And then what it says, this session has ended, and you will be forwarded back to the home screen. The home screen is the URL that you set up when you set up your room, where people would be taken when they hit the exit button. So that's that. And in my case, I chose webinarBLAZE. That's it for the overview. Thanks for watching.